I don't know how I'm gonna open up this show here, right? WWE, they had their Saturday night main event. This was the end of an era. As you can tell by this picture, tonight was all about one John Cena. They were at the Capital One Arena in Washington. They had 19,232 individuals there. Four matches, including the main event being John Cena against Gunther. This is the Big Pop Theory podcast. Sometimes it's an audio podcast. We review the current stuff during the week, every other week. We've been trying to use this YouTube channel and try to just pump out some content and go live when we are doing predictions or after a PLE or, in this case, a Saturday night main event. I look forward to talking about this show. As you can tell by this voice, I'm one of your hosts, the great Grand Slam Pooh, and I am joined with the greatest casual of all time. One, my favorite Mark wins. I'm pointing the wrong way. Mark wins, and we're also joined with the smartest man in the room, one Rich King. Gentlemen, I know you guys are well because I know you guys, and you guys are handsome. But gentlemen, why don't you tell the people, how are you guys?
Pretty good. Enjoying life. Even though it's a little cold, we enjoying life.
I love that. Smartest man in the room. How are you feeling, Hamps?
Doing great, can't complain. Solid night today, so let's get into it.
Honestly, and this time it wasn't even Mr. Cat. Like, he didn't even do it. Like, I have to get a nail for that. I kid you not, that is so embarrassing. Yeah, I'm looking at you. But let's talk about this. So before showtime and everything like that, and we see you in the comments, Jeffrey. We're gonna talk about that main event. I was thinking about today. I was like, man, like, Cena was never like my GOAT, my main guy, however you want to word it, right? But I was just like, man, this is really the end of an era. And I was just thinking, like, I remember seeing him, and they mentioned the date. I always remember it being June of 2002, but they made it clear to let you know it was June 27th of 2002. And I remember when John Cena came out. He comes out, he's wearing the basic shorts or tights, has a great look to him, cut up, faces Kurt Angle. They had this long match, and he loses, and as he should. You know what I think is funny is this bookmark. He entered the main roster and he lost, and when he exited, he lost. But then John Cena. So in 2002, I'm not gonna, because it's hard to talk about John Cena's career in 5 minutes, right? You really got to have some time. So I'll just say some quick things and give you guys the floor real quick about any kind of memories you guys got about John Cena, and also in the chat, if there's anything about John Cena, like your favorite moment, favorite match, blah blah blah, please do. So I'll just sit here and say this: he comes in 2002. He's basic, not thugonomics. He eventually finds his rhythm with this hip hop gimmick. 2003, he's feuding with people like Eddie Guerrero and Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, some of the big dogs. Undertaker becomes a babyface late in 03, wins his first singles championship in 2004. He got stabbed in 2004 as well. I don't know if you guys remember De Jesus. There was a guy that Carlito was with, and he got stabbed. I never forgot that. I remember just thinking, like, wow, this is. I remember, like, so real quick, I was a WCW kid. I feel like that should be a shirt. And I remember when he got stabbed, I said, see, this is why WCW be around, because no one got stabbed in WCW. So, see, this is what I'm talking about. But obviously in 2005, he wins that was 2004. Yes. When he got stabbed. Yes, that was 2004 with De Jesus. He was with Carlito. Carlito debuted. Carlito won the United States Championship for him. I believe the storyline was John Cena, and they were at a club, and for whatever reason, Khalid had someone to stab him, and I remember it was a terrible storyline. I just remember thinking, this is terrible. 2005, he wins the WWE Championship for the first time, the first of 17 times. It's just this long thing. Like, I could just talk through each year, but we'll be here all night. But John Cena, he's just been here. He's been on top for 20 years. He's just, I don't know. I just thought about tonight, and tonight I was like, man, this is really the end of an era. Like, I don't know. So, I don't know. I'll give the floor to you first, Rich Kings. Do you have any fond memories of like John Cena? And I'll give the floor to you next, Mark Owens.
Yeah, so it's hard to narrow it down to just one of like favorite things. I'm not gonna go to like a match in particular. I'm just gonna go back to like a WrestleMania. Like, we've been always clamoring for like the heel John Cena, right? And it just never got it. So I forgot. Shame on me for not remembering the WrestleMania. But the WrestleMania, he just came back with the Thugonomics theme, and that crowd just erupted. Like, I think I felt back in my seat too. Like, it was just good. Like, he has like this collective aura, whether you love him, hate him, or you just don't care about him. But you see him come out, or you hear a theme, or he just does these certain things. It just gravitates you. So for me, my favorite era of John Cena was the Thugonomics era, where he was rapping, when he was coming up with the jerseys and doing all those things. And fast forward all those years, he wasn't doing it, and then he came out for just that one WrestleMania, spit that rhyme. It was great. So that was my personal favorite memory of John Cena. We rolled back the tape for us so many years ago. What about you, Mark? Oh, sorry, go on.
No, and you get the floor, Mark. I just wanted to say I'm so terrible when it comes to WrestleMania numbers, but that was 2019. That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, sir.
Nice.
I don't have very many fond memories of John Cena. It's always been like, for me, it's always been, I don't really like his character. I respect his work. I respect the man, John Cena, right? But the character that was in the ring, I don't know. Something about it didn't vibe with me. Like, it felt like, and it's weird, right? Because it felt like he didn't really face adversity, even though he clearly has, right? Like, I'm sure you can go back to watch the matches and like, look, see, there's some adversity. Look, see, there's some adversity. Like, you can't say that he hasn't faced adversity as a 17-time champion, because that means that he had to win that championship 17 times. So it's like, I don't know. But like I said, I respect the man. His work ethic is off the charts. I love how he respects the crowd. I love his music. I think he's low-key a great rapper. Not like, top whatever, but better than any mumble rapper you can name. I'll tell you that much. I actually really like his raps. But yeah, I don't really have a quote-unquote fond memory of like John Cena winning something or whatever. Like, we'll get into it. Never mind. I ain't even gonna bring that up yet. But he's cool.
No, and you know what I like about John Cena? Like, he was never like my GOAT, but one of the things, for me personally, he's just a really good dude. Like, and I think that's what made me go like. So I saw a post on someone's social media, and it's like, oh, now everyone's a John Cena fan, and it's like, well, you got to remember, in the 2010s, John Cena was just beating a lot of people for no fucking reason. That's really the truth. Like, I think about, so if I can use this as an example, right? I'm not sure if you was.
No, I'm sorry. I saw a comment from Jeffrey saying that his album went platinum and was number 15 on Billboard charts. That I didn't know. That's interesting. That makes sense.
Jeffrey, can I give a shout out? Like, I love giving shout outs. Like, Jeffrey, shout out to this guy. He's like the fourth member of the group. I mean, we have Jean Baptiste. He's just taking a sabbatical. But shout out to Jeffrey with these things. I'm gonna have Too Sweet, my guy. So Too Sweet, my guy. And also too, you know what I love about Jeffrey Reimer? Yeah. He is on the Jane train. He is on the right train and whatnot. So I appreciate you, because he understands greatness. When he sniffs it, he knows it's JC Jane. So shout out to you, because there's some people who are allergic to greatness. They break out. They have torn their clavicle in some kind of way. So he understands. He's a real one too sweet to the great Jeffrey. He's the Jeffrey the Great. That's what everyone. That's what he's being known as, Jeffrey the Great, and capitalize that T, that H and E, and great as well, because he understands. You're a real one. I'm sorry, I can't see this exactly.
It's a salute, 2 salutes.
Oh, it's a salute. Okay, thank you. I couldn't see it on mine. I'm so sorry because the way my computer is. He says, call the sweaterverse. I hope his sweater just chokes him out. I hope he taps out in submission. Honestly, I hope that he forgets that he left his refrigerator door open and everything gets spoiled. Like for good, I'm gonna say a good 4 days. That's what I'm gonna say. But matter of fact, you laughed. You're right. 5. But yeah, no, John Cena, he beat a lot of people that didn't need to be, and I think that's why people felt how they felt. I think about like the Nexus in 2010. This was a group that was trying to, they needed some steam. And okay, you're laughing because I feel like, I don't know if you was watching as much Mark Wins, but like it was such a thing, like they could have used that win. And here's John Cena going like, no, absolutely not. So I can see why there was a lot of people who were
I watched a short about that recently. I think it was Edge saying something about it was him, CM Punk, and somebody else.
No, it was Jericho. It was him and Jericho.
Oh, okay, so it was him and Jericho talking about, yo, the Nexus needs to go over. And I think something about how that was the original plan, but then I guess Vince changed it. And Cena was just going along with whatchamacallit. Like he was just like, all right, cool, whatever. But it wasn't until after the fact where he was like, yeah, you guys are right. So
yeah.
That's not necessarily Cena's fault. At least now I can't fault him for that,
He wanted to throw out here too that
1.3 million. Yeah, it's a good album.
Did you listen to it? Like because I know like 2 tracks, maybe 3. It's 3, right? Really? Because
I don't listen. So I don't listen to albums, right? I'm the type of person that, like, if you ask me what's my favorite Michael Jackson album, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what songs were there, and then based on what songs you tell me, that I can tell you what my favorite album would be. But I have listened to a lot of his music. So I don't know if he came out with 1 or 2 albums, but all I know is the man got bars. He only has one. The man got bars. That's all I know.
So when we talk about the show, they were in Washington, and I forget which one of you gentlemen was saying this. They were in the Capital One Arena in Washington, and some of the people that they were showing out there was Mark Henry, Trish Stratus, Metro Boom. I hope I'm saying his name right, John Bernard, but he was the one who played the Punisher. I feel like I said his name completely wrong, so apologies to the gentleman. Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, and there was so many other celebrities and wrestlers that were there. I didn't write everyone's name, but there was a lot of people out here. They were obviously there for John Cena's final match. But one of you gentlemen were talking about that crowd. I wanted, before we get into the opening match here, I'm gonna give it to you first, Rich Kings. How did you feel about this crowd? And then Mark, please take the floor.
Yeah, the crowd was very interesting. I don't want to give away a lot of my takes because per take per match with this crowd, but the crowd. What this is what I'll say. I enjoyed this crowd for multiple reasons, and whether it was for my dislike for the crowd for some things or the attention to detail, it was a crowd. You could definitely hear. I love energy, so when I feel the energy from the TV, it kept me more involved in the match of what was going on. So I know not everybody in that crowd was a celebrity, but everybody in that crowd was a wrestling fan. And that's what I appreciated about that crowd.
Mark wins.
Yeah, same. I will keep my subjective opinions about the crowd as we go through the matches, just like Rich Kings. But objectively, yes, the crowd was hype. I will give them that. They were hype. It wasn't a dead crowd. It wasn't a crowd that was just waiting for the main event. Like, nah, they were there. I respect that. So, yeah, hype crowd. But like I said, as we go through the matches, I got opinions about what the crowd was saying.
It's funny. I want to give a shout out to a fellow Big Pop popper. I don't know. We don't have a word for it. But one Shay Soy, I was chatting with her on this event, and we were talking and stuff like that. And it was a good conversation. It was a fun conversation and stuff like that. So I wanted to give her a big time shout out. But the opening video, we have Triple H. He's narrating this GOAT video, and he's pretty much talking about Cena's career and like from the beginnings to now, and his influence and his longevity. I thought it was a well done video, but I laughed because um Triple H get a lot of flack, and for me personally, I hope in 2026 he can change that around and fix that and stuff like that, because he did. So I'm sorry, I gotta try to remember the years, but in NXT when it was the black and gold, he gave a lot of gems and stuff like that. So I always sit here and hope that yes, this is before he got booed. Totally, Jeffrey. Yeah, this is totally before he got booed. So I hope that he can change things up a little bit and refix that image for him. But when I heard him narrating, I was just like, oh no, like because like he does. I don't know. I'll stop there. But it was his opening video. Let me ask you, gentlemen, what did you guys think about this opening video before we talk about the first match, which champion versus champion, Cody Rhodes. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. we have stuff before we get into this opening match here of one Cody Rhodes and Femi. But Mark Wins, you are raising your hand, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, because so whatever his narration was just like the beginning of all the. I had a worse analogy for this, but I'm not going to use it because I feel like because my analogy is disrespectful. Like as I'm taking the notes, I have an analogy. It's very disrespectful. I'm not going to say it, but it was the beginning of the entire show just being a tribute to John Cena, right? Cool, but he said something and it blew my mind. I was like, "You're lying." He said the word "goat" gets thrown around so much that we forget what it means. No, 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 no. No, we don't. All right, no, we don't. Nobody forgets that GOAT means greatest of all time. It doesn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who wrote that. I don't know why we thought that was cool to say. It was not. That was just the one thing that, like, when I heard it, I was upset. I was like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, that's all I got for that. Otherwise, it was just tributes on tributes on tributes. It's cool. It is what it is. I have no unbiased respect. I have no unbiased respectful thoughts, right? Like objectively, it was a cool tribute. But I have thoughts, and I feel like my thoughts are a little too disrespectful to say out loud. So I'm not gonna do it.
I think Lamar, I think he's not talking about the word "go" gets used loosely like in sports or people like us, right? But there are people out there that put people say this is the GOAT, and I'm like last year, not to disrespect him, nothing like that, but Josiah came on and he's like, Seth Rollins is the GOAT. Stop.
All right,
Let's
that's
stop.
fair enough.
Like we can't be like. There's some people that like we will have our untelevised conversations, and I'm hearing some names. I'm like, stop. So I think that's where he's coming from. When I heard that, that's where I was coming from. Because
that makes more sense.
I'm hearing people say like some people think Stone Cold's the GOAT. Why? How? Like, what was the error? What did he do? Like, he protected that error, but how's the greatest of all time? Is the next question. So I think that's what he was going through with that. But not bad. Not a misunderstanding from you though. I just think it's just some fans that this. Oof.
It's fair.
All right. So let's get into this opening match here. Let me put this graphic up one more time because I love this from my boy Femi. He goes against the American Nightmare, one Cody Rhodes, the ruler. And you know what? If I could just sit here and say this, it just felt right with Femi on just like when he's coming. Look, Cody Rhodes, he's a made man, right? I don't have to talk about Cody Rhodes, but Femi, not everyone, and I was saying something over the lines of like, yo, not everyone watch NXT. So I love that the crowd, when Ober was doing something, they were doing, Mark, I'm sorry.
ooh, mm, mm, ooh, mm, mm, ooh, mm, mm, ooh. I
Oh
loved it. Yes.
no, I love that they were with it. Femi is gonna definitely be on the main roster in 2026. I just can't I can't shake that feeling. I feel like he's definitely gonna be on there, and he's gonna be a great addition. I hope that they don't. I'm sorry. How can I say this? How can I say this politely? I hope they don't fuck that up. Because like there's like he no, but seriously, like Femi, you add him to the main roster, I think you have something special. Obviously he should be on SmackDown. He should be um separated from Gunther. I think that he should definitely show up in the Royal Rumble. But I thought this was a great test for Femi, and Femi to me passed. And this was what I thought it should be. I thought like, hey, we don't get a winner. Because you gotta protect because like I feel like if I could be totally blunt and honest, I hate that the word buried it get tossed around. Like people say that word, and I sometimes want to say, hey, do you know what that means? Hey, do you know what that means, right? So no, I don't think he would have been buried, but I think that would have been an awful decision by creative. So I love that I love that they found a way, a loophole, and blah blah blah. But Femi, he looked pretty damn good in this match. I thought he looked really good. He kept up with Cody. I laughed when Cody kept doing these Cody cutters because he's like, yo, I face Javon Evans and I get these all the time. I eat those. Matter of fact, I season it just so I can enjoy this meal. So please, you are embarrassing yourself. Um, Drew McIntyre comes out, he attacks Cody, and he gets attacked by both Cody Rhodes and Femi. Cody hits him with a move, and then Ober hits him with and enough for nothing too. When Ober chokeslammed Drew, because Drew's a pretty tall dude. I think he's like 6'5", 6'6", or something like that. He's a pretty 6'6", or maybe 6'7". But he's a pretty tall dude. So for him to hit that chokeslam, I thought that was impressive. And the guys, they raise each other's hand. And one of the things, and I'll give you the floor here, Mark wins, but like for me, watching wrestling, right? And I'm looking at this tonight, right? And I see some of this young talent, and I'm like, man, I hope in 2026 they start doing some kind of youth movement. I hope I said that totally correctly, but I hope they go that route because, like, you're hearing like John Cena's retiring. He retired tonight. AJ Styles is retiring next year. Gunther's right there by the door. But I say all that to simply
Chomping
say
at
is,
the bits.
I can't wait to talk about that with Gunther, but I'll save my thoughts for that later when we talk about it. But I just want to sit here and say is like, here's the thing with WWE. It's not that talent is the problem. That's not the problem. It's creative. So I sit here and I see this and I'm like, yo, you really have the talent. I hope that you focus on that. But I'm done talking. Mark Wins, please take the floor.
So like objectively, right? I guess this is the right move to make it end in a no contest or whatever. But like, nah, I was upset. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Obi to win. All right, like. So in somewhere in my mind, Cody Rhodes comes off as like the second coming of John Cena, and that statement sounds crazy to make maybe, but like something about Cody Rhodes just don't sit the character. Something about the character Cody Rhodes in the ring don't sit well with me. Like I just don't know what it is. I think he's even, and I feel like he's even more milquetoast than John Cena. It's ridiculous. So like I'm hyped, right? Because you hear Cody's music open the show, so I'm like, oh, they're gonna have Obi come out second, like he's the big dog. Ooh, so I'm hyped. I'm like, okay, cool. But then I'm thinking about it. I was like, that don't mean shit. We still gotta watch this match. We still gotta see what's going on here. And I'm watching the match. And I'm getting into it because Obi's out here dominating Cody Rhodes to the point where I'm pretty sure that was not a blade. He actually, by accident, bust Cody open because the way that blood was looking, it was different. I was like, wow, he really accidentally hit him. That's crazy. But and then Drew comes and ruins the match, and I'm just like, WWE, you cowards. You absolute cowards. Give Obi the fucking pin. All right? Like give him the win. That's it. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Well, stop playing. All right? Cut it out. Now look, like once again. Objectively, I agree with the great Grand Slam Pooper. This was most likely the right play. I do wish that like even if this was the route that it was going to go down, I wish the match was a little bit longer because I feel like, spoiler alert, I feel like every match was cut a little short. It was chopped down to the knee in this whatchamacallit, except the last match. But I know what I wanted to see, and I didn't see it, so I'm a little disappointed. But overall solid. I do wish it went on a little longer, but I guess this isn't that wasn't the point of this episode. Even though allegedly we wanted to show off NXT, we wanted to show off the new people, and then we have this. That was weird to me, but objectively, great decision. But I know what I wanted to see.
Rich Kings, please take the floor, sir.
All right, so I heard everything you said. Be great, and I think that this is part of the problem why Triple H got booed tonight. This was a terrible decision, and I get why you predicted this, why you saw it coming. It's something you're used to, and that's what has to change. And this is why, once again, he got booed again tonight. And I would have booed the same. After all that trash happened with Drew McIntyre, the fans like, listen, I paid to see this match. Say if I was an NXT person, and you're saying like, I get it. Like, not a lot of people know who Oba is because he's an NXT guy. I couldn't tell by that crowd. So if I'm a fan of him and I watched him or I studied just to get ready for this match, and you give me that on no contest, I'm not happy about that. Even if he lost. There's this saying in sports, moral victories, but that was a visual victory. If I did not know who he was, and he lost to Cody Rhodes, because most people do lose to Cody Rhodes, it is what it is. I can't wait for him to see him sometime this year, as you just talked about 5 minutes ago. The anticipation to have a no disqualification again with Drew McIntyre is exhausting, is annoying, and it's just not. Like, when we think about, or I'm not saying AEW's competition, but we just did a whole podcast about 2008 TNA versus WWE. This is the same shit. Like, why are we having him come in and ruin this match? And it was a good match, and then it just did not need to happen. And the fans clearly told you, restart the match. That's what the chant was. Restart the match. They clearly told you that they were not fans of this. So, like, at the end of the day, I think that when you have like the wrestling empire in your hands, you gotta be a little bit more creative. I'm not saying Obi had a win, but he showed up. And in the beginning, if you didn't know who he was, he got your attention now. I guarantee you probably go watch NXT now. And I think that was the point of that match. But Drew McIntyre coming in again, ruining shit, awful. Just didn't need to happen. And at that, you know how I feel, how you start the pay-per-view, so you're going to end it. And I think that was just like, it was so great. They had me riding on a 9 wave. And when that happened, I just was like, you know what? Why did I expect something else?
I have a question. Who is like the top like rival to Obi, or like who's Obi's top rival right now? Because if you're gonna have Drew interfere, I think you have whoever like is up next for the NXT title in to come out with him. And
based on what we saw at Deadline, if they had told me it was D'Angelo that came out, I would have stomached that a little bit more, because he just stared at Oba and he stared at Javon, and that was that ending of that pay-per-view. So if he had came out, or Ricky Saints would have came out, I'm not saying it would have softened the blow a little bit. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But Drew McIntyre for like 5 months in a row, it seems like, I'm tired of it. Like, when is this going to stop with him?
No, it's been dragging, and I think WWE, one of their big problems is that they clutch and depend on the very thing that, because I hear what you're saying. I'm not saying these are not valid points. The only thing is I've been conditioned to feel how I feel. So when you was mentioning the stuff about like, Drew coming out, and I'm hoping in 2026 they can take away that clutch and have where because I'm with you guys. I would have loved for Oba to win, but I said I don't see that, and they're not gonna have Cody like eat the dirt. That's just not how it's gonna be because that's just how everything has been, um, how everything has been produced. So yeah, no, it was a bad move. I hear you, and I agree. And hopefully they can stop doing that. You said who his greatest rival is? Was that the question for
I said greatest, but I really meant like current. Like who's like
who's basically that? Who could have came out from NXT to attack him versus
I would
Drew
say
McIntyre?
I do agree with Ricky. Because Ricky right now he lost at deadline, and it looked like he wants to get that rematch with him. You could go with Javon, but Javon was there, so you could have probably even said Javon. But like, yeah, I would say Ricky at the current moment right now, Ricky. I do sit here and say this though, because I didn't do a review on NXT this week for UPR. Shout out to them. But um, Ricky turned heel. He distracted Javon, and Javon lost to Oba. I'm starting to see where now it looks like Javon is going to be the one to take the title off of Oba Femi, because I still see Oba showing up at the Royal Rumble. Will he win? No, and he doesn't have to win. I mean, even with this, I'll say and say this: did he have to win? Did he have to win? I don't think that's necessarily a thing he had to do. I think that he just had to have a great showing, and I think he did do a great showing, even with the disqualification finish. Would I have loved an exact finish? Sure. Sometimes you don't get that, but sometimes you can win by just you can win by giving. I'm sorry, I can't even word this shit, but like you can still win even when you lose, and even though he didn't lose, but he can still win in a situation that he was being given. I think so personally. Because like how you said, that fans they wanted more, and hopefully they get more of Oberfemi in 2026 when he wins the United States Championship. Let's move forward to the next match here. I just want to make sure I have this correctly because I wanted to make sure I got my notes. I do want to highlight one, Jeffrey Reimer. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. He said Drew is a whining baby.
and I hate that for him. I do.
Look like they're gonna have Ricky versus Javon Evans. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a mini feud, and Javon is gonna be the one to take the title off of Oberfemi. But go ahead. You said you hate that for him. Please take the floor.
Yeah, because Drew seems like he should be a threat, right? But like every time I see him, he gets dominated. It's that's also getting tiring. I don't know if anybody else is tired of that, but I'm tired of Drew McIntyre losing all the time. Is he really just incapable of like? It's one thing if he has the Batista effect where like he's winning, and he just can't get a title. But it feels like even like as soon as the lights are bright, he just gets destroyed. Like I just don't understand. Like I don't
sorry,
get it.
When you said the Batista effect, the B. I'm sorry. I was gonna say BF, but I'm like, oh no, that began with an E. I'm laughing because if I may, I don't want to take up too much time of everyone's time. So when you see Drew McIntyre and his, I have a catchphrase where I say, oh, he's married, but his shoulder is in a committed relationship with the mat. So are you saying is when you watch this is you?
Yeah. I have no faith in this man having any positive impact on his career. It's insane.
Do you have any follow up here? One Rich Kings? No. I will say here and say this. I do. He's supposed to be getting another championship match, and I do think him losing again would be. I don't want to say burial, but it would be. It would be a bad move.
Detrimental to his career. Like this
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a terrible move. So I hope that they do rearrange it. Because look, I can see him win the championship. Does he go into WrestleMania as a champion? I don't see that. And it doesn't have to even be that, but like I do think that him losing a lot, I hope that they fix that. But let's talk about this match. I'm gonna give you the floor here first, one Rich Kings, if you're ready for this, sir. But let's talk about this. We had Bayley going against Sol Ruca. NXT's Sol Ruca. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna give you the floor here, handsome. What did you think about this match?
This was a really solid match for both competitors here. I think they both did a great job. There's like a lot of highlights for so. I think if you don't know, once again, if you don't know NXT, you don't know these women. This is you need to start paying attention, right? So this is your wake up call to see some of these stars. So I think Sol Ruca had so many different moves she was doing, whether it was a handstand, like almost a moonwalk handstand walking away, or that theatrical DDT from the top, because that was a lot of nothing just to get to a DDT. So I was like, cute. But Bayley. I had to ask myself, if this was Becky or Charlotte, would they have taken the L here? And I would have to say no, they would not have taken the L here. And it was a comedy of errors, I think, from Bayley, and I didn't understand why she had to lose this match personally. Like, I get it, we try to put over Sol Ruca, but like I said, we didn't do the same thing for Oba. Well, why we had to do this for her? I think she could have lost this match and still had a good showing. There was a few things that, like, they both hit their finishers, they both did certain things, and when Bayley hit that, was it Rose plan or whatever it's called, and she's so close to the ropes, I'm like,
oh my
I
goodness,
just closed my eyes so slowly. Like, this is not gonna work because it's too close to the ropes. And yes, it was a creative way to touch the ropes, but I was just like, what the hell was that? And then when she, so Ruka hit her finish and she rolled her up, I'm like, yes, 1, 2, no 3, and then she gets rolled up immediately after, and she's out. Very disappointing. So I think I'm more concerned for the Billy character. Where do you go from here after this? And those women on the outside, useless. Don't even come to the ring. Don't even show yourself. You can stay in the back for this. A lot of window dressing. I think the match was fine. Not the result I wanted to see, but at the same time, I'm like, damn. Like, it does strike me back to what Oscar said 2 weeks ago. What are you? What are you? What are you doing? Charlotte Flair's in the main event. I'm a champion. And then, and I had to do the after this match. Like, unbelievable. Mark, on you.
So I feel like I have some opposite opinions, right? Because I enjoyed the match. I did. There were definitely some issues in terms of Bayley's in-ring awareness, but like particularly that, like I said, that spot where she hit the Rose plant or whatever, and her legs was just boom right there. We grabbed the ring, no problem, and it was just like, that doesn't seem like the Bayley that I know. I don't know what's going on with Bayley. I don't know if it's part of her like character. I don't know if she's doing that Chris Jericho thing where I remember there was this one point towards the end of Chris Jericho's tenure at WWE where he was just putting people over left and right. And I remember somewhere online he was like, "Yo, me jobbing is okay because I'm elevating I'm elevating people that I'm jobbing to." So I wonder if that's what Bayley's doing right now. That's what her thing is, because I'm assuming she's done everything that a woman's competitor can do in the WWE.
Yeah, for the most part.
And yeah, so like at this point, she's just jobbing, putting people over, doing the whatchamacallit. I know but you're right though. Becky, I could kind of sort of see putting someone over, but Charlotte, I don't. Charlotte, no, not Miss Flair. Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. I don't see her putting Sol over, which is unfortunate. But I did enjoy the match. I do agree that what was it, Zarya and Lyra Valkyria was salad dressing, or whatever you put it. But I'm glad that they didn't interfere. Honestly, I because like I said, I enjoyed the match. So I do agree that perhaps they probably should have just stayed in the back. I have no idea why they were out there, but I'm glad that this match had zero interference. And to be fair, maybe interference would have made the match a little bit more hype. Maybe it would have made more sense for Bayley to lose if there was interference. But I'm okay with the result for the most part. I have no qualms. I think Sol is fire in the ring. She's absolutely insane, and I love it. That little cartwheel off the rope in the DDT, excellent. The Soul Snatcher, excellent. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I really did.
I expected Sol to get the W here. And I think it was the right move. I sat here and said, like, some young talent should win here. I mean, I think moving forward, we should sit here and try to really magnify this young talent. Not just her, but I'm just saying young talent in general. So, and barely, I was chatting with I was on the phone with Shay Sawyer and we were talking, and like for me, I was like, um, I think it's amazing because I remember like 10 years ago, Bailey was 10, 11, right? She was the young upcoming gal, and now she's the veteran, and she's putting over this young talent that's Sol Ruca. So Ruca's a very talented, um, super talented, completely talented, and she deserves all the flowers in the world. One of my concerns is her movement because the moves that she's doing, I don't think she's going to be doing them 10 years from now. So hopefully, and also too with the joints, right? You know, she's doing a lot of the moves that she's doing. She was doing a lot of flips, like how you guys were mentioning the cartwheel DDT. It's amazing. It's beautiful, right? But do you guys see her doing that in 10 years?
How old is she?
I don't have an exact age, but let's say 25, 26. I'll Google to be totally sure, but let's say her mid 20s.
So I mean, if she's in her mid-20s, I could see her doing those moves into like 34, 35, and then maybe by then she adjusts her move set. But if she was 30 something still doing it and is like into her 40s, no, absolutely not. But I could see her still like obviously at some point, right? Because she's still young.
26.
She's 26.
26. Okay.
So they say she's been wrestling for 3 years, only 3 years. So she has plenty of time to learn and get her bearings under her and all that, or however you say that. She has plenty of time to do all of that, and she will either find that she's not having fun wrestling a more grounded style and will retire and move on to whatever else, maybe a podcast or something like that, or she will ground her style a little bit. She'll do less flips here and there, but she'll have more wrestling experience under her belt, so she'll be able to whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I would like to see happen.
Yeah,
But
no, because one of the things is I feel like she's very athletic, and I just want to throw out here real quick. She's a Virgo, so obviously we're the best. I just want to throw that out there. August 26, 1999. And when I saw that, I immediately said, "Oh, you're part of the Jack Pack community." Now, obviously, you know, I'll stop talking. But like, she's a Virgo. Like, we're the best sign ever. I'm sorry. Like, argue with a wall. You're not gonna beat me.
I don't have nothing to argue with. I have a question.
Yes.
Sol Ruca or JC Jane?
Oh, you know where I'm going. JC Jane ordered that. Well,
Yeah, he's gonna go JC Jane. This is the thing. I think that she can still do what she was able to do 10 years from now. I mean, Charlotte's still jumping up the top. She's still doing those flips. She's still doing those things. I don't see why she can't do those same things too. And when I would think about wrestling, like, to me, a lot of the powerhouse people don't last. It's not the people that have the agility and the flexibility. So I think, especially in the women's division, like how long, like we think about powerhouse women, right? How long do you think Awesome Kong lasted? And did she last any years?
No, she didn't last long.
She got pregnant, and then that was that. She got pregnant and then hurt, or hurt and then pregnant.
No, I think it was pregnant and then got hurt. I'm not exactly sure, but no, when you are doing these kind of moves, it does take a toll on you. Look at
I agree.
you could. I was just gonna say this. You can still do these moves. I'm not trying to tell her how she can to wrestle and everything, right? But I'm saying you can still do these moves, but then you learn how to. So look at Rey Mysterio in 96, 97, and yes, I know he's a lot older and stuff like that. But like you realize once he started getting like the injuries in the legs, when he started getting like the injuries in the legs and everything like that, that changes everything, you know. And she already has some kind of leg injury. I'm not too sure exactly what it was. All I'm just saying is like you want to make sure that you have a long career, not a short career. That's all. Like, just to throw that out there.
Yeah, because like even AJ Styles, I remember once upon a time he had a career. I mean, he had an interview, and he was talking about how with my the way I wrestle, I'll never be able to wrestle as long as Ric Flair. And sure enough, he does indeed calm his style down. He's definitely more grounded than he used to be. And look at him now; he's going to retire at 50 instead of 40.
We're comparing somebody as athletic to someone that does the bare minimum in the ring. Ric Flair is not doing all the extra stuff in the ring.
Wait,
No,
you never
right.
saw Ric?
Right,
You
right.
never saw,
He's not even doing.
No,
like,
hold on, wait. Yeah, I never
does
saw
Ric
Ric
Flair
Flair.
Does
Never
Ric
saw
Flair do
Ric
a
Flair doing
powerbomb
shoot
or a
something.
power slam or anything like that? Ric Flair is the most generic wrestler you're gonna find.
Ric Flair
Correct.
once did a
Sorry.
450.
The point wasn't to compare AJ Styles to Ric Flair. The point was to compare AJ Styles to Sol Ruca. My point was like how AJ Styles had stated once upon a time in an interview that's probably buried under the internet how he didn't think that he was going to be able to wrestle as long as Ric Flair, but he still was able to ground his whatchamacallit because he wasn't what he was doing in 2010 is not what he's doing now, right? And of course not, because he's older now, right?
No.
Right. So I think that's where I was getting at. Like I brought up Ric Flair because, like I said, I just remembered the interview, but I wasn't trying to compare AJ Styles to Ric Flair because let's be honest, AJ Styles is a better wrestler than Ric Flair. Ric Flair is Ric Flair's a greater storyteller, but AJ Styles is the better in-ring whatchamacallit. I was just comparing AJ Styles and his trajectory in terms of going from the high flyer to the more grounded high flyer as he gets older, and how that could be Sol Ruca as well.
I think there's fair points on both of them, right? There's people that are outliers like Jeff Hardy or Rob Van Dam that could do it whenever, and there's people that had to make some adjustments in order to last in the business too, right?
Right.
So I do think depending on how risque she's going to continue to be, I think will determine what she will do moving forward.
But I think I'm so sorry. To sum it all up, I think that this was it was the right move. I thought that Sol Ruca, I feel like she's gonna definitely get over on the main roster with her finisher, like the soul snatcher. Apologies. And I like this. I like this very much. I thought this was the right move. And you guys was asking about Zarya and Lyra was there. I honestly forgot, like, so when Bayley was coming out, like I was watching NXT and I saw that Soul told Zarya, like, yeah, come out with me and stuff like that. And I just didn't even think Lyra was gonna come out. But it was nice. I think this was a great spot for all these women, even if you was not involved in the match. I think it was a really good spot for all of them. Because I'm pretty sure there's people who looked at Zarya and they were like, if you look at Zarya, she has a good look. She's in really great shape. The red hair and everything like that, so she stands out. Let's get into this match here, and I'm going to start with you here, Mark Wins. Let's start with this here. Let's get into match 3. We have the young OG Javon Evans and Leon Slater going against the World Tag Team Champions of AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. So let me ask you, what's so funny? I don't understand.
The sound effects. That's what's funny.
Well, you know how I feel. Oh, you don't know.
I don't know how you feel. And
well, I'm
yeah,
glad.
because go on, because I saw Dragon Lee and I was like, why does he keep doing that?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you about me and Rich Kings. We are twins. We are separated by birth because Rich Kings, he texted me, he said, I'm not a fan of Dragon Lee. And I immediately said, me too. And he said, oh, he sent me a GIF. You remember the fly from Family Guy? Good. And I said, yes. I immediately said, this is I told Shay she runs branding for me. You are my lawyer, Rich Kings. You're just you're it. You are it. You understand because like Dragon Lee, I just can't. Oh, like when I heard him, I immediately when I heard the music, I immediately just tumbled off my bed. You might say, well, what's the problem? What's your beef with Dragon Lee? So let me tell you what my beef is with him. He's you know who his mentor is?
Oh,
That's
I
right.
mean, I get it, but
Mark, you're my lawyer. Don't do that. I want to sue.
how old is he? Because I feel like I don't know. I'm not convinced that he's a fraud though. Like
Well, no.
he can surpass Ray just like his fake son did.
Rich Kings, do you believe any of the stuff that Mark wants to say?
I heard him, and it just went one ear through the other. But I heard him though. But I will tell you about Jordan Lee. Like, no, it's a no for me. He's just like he's always somewhere where he should not be, and he annoys me.
That sounds like some Rey Mysterio shit. Can't lie.
Yeah, but he learns from the worst. Like again, the Whitney Houston song. I learned from the best. I learned from the worst.
Jeffrey is saying, "Speak your mind." Absolutely not. I'm sorry. Look, Mark Wentz, I love you. I adore you. I think you are fantastic. You are the Captain America to my Iron Man. But no, I'm sorry. Absolutely. Yeah. Someone. But also,
So Rich King's his store.
do you think you can lift up more near Rich Kings? Do you think
Do I think I do what?
Is it Mjolnir? Am I saying it right?
Mjolnir, yeah. Can you lift Mjolnir to be Thor?
Of course.
Ah, there we go.
Yo! The confidence of this man. It wasn't even like a question. It's like, the fuck? I can see him now. He would just, honestly, you would be disintegrated, Mark Wentz, if he heard it. I love it.
This is what that would be what it is. I know you called on Mark first, but I just want to give a couple quick takes.
Sure, please.
And so when I watch this match, I'm watching everything go by. I'm like, my neck is like, whoa, and my eyes are getting wider with excitement. I said, this is probably the match that Mark was talking about, like this high flying, total nonstop action match. This is it. This is what we're looking for. And like I like the team of Javon Evans and Leon. I think that was pretty good. But it got ruined once again by that guy. Like, why is he around? So, like, listen, there was a lot of movement. I love it, but towards the climax of the match, we're getting the cutter and the Swanton 450, whatever it's called.
No, you're right. It's what it's called. Yeah.
And I'm like, yes. Like, finally, we want to see good talent go right. We want to see these 21-year-olds go against these. I mean, the other guy's not too old, but still, you know what I'm trying to get to. And here he comes with this fucking drop kick. Oh, you fucking bitch. Like, I was just like, I had on my head. I was like, and then he wants to do a swanton bomb. Oh, it's like, I could do one too. And it takes Javon out for the rest of the match. And I was disappointed. Very disappointed. And I think this is one of my favorite matches of the night. I do think that this whole pay-per-view was good with solid matches, but I think that the pace, the action, and obviously you got Leon going against his idol, and that he's trying to do the Styles Clash. He reversed it a couple times at the beginning, and he just suffered. And I immediately text the Great, and I was like, "That works still? What? Like what? That goes back to your point a few segments earlier. These matches kind of end a little too fast in my liking. I wanted more. I'm like, that match ended way too soon, and I'm looking around like, you know who I have to blame for that? The Fraud Junior.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pass it off to you back, Mark. But I just want to say that, like, I felt like you watched this match. Like, this is what I came to see. Watching it through your eyes, and it was just total nonstop passion. Loved it.
I just want to give a shout out to our guy here. We call him the QB of the Big Pop Theory podcast because, like, he was like, "Look, I got to take control of the show. Let me tell you something." And I totally agree. And look, Mark, I want you to get the floor, but I just feel like, look, Dragon. I just like when he said this, I knew that this was my soulmate right here, one Rich Kings, because he got it, and I got it too. Because, like, when I saw him, and look, he didn't do anything he's 30 years old. I'm 37, and I can say he's just old. But now, all seriousness, I'm gonna give you the floor here, Mark. I'm making jokes here, but please take the floor here, sir.
Yeah, another match that was cut at the knees. I enjoyed it, and like I said, I'm watching this match, and I'm waiting for Dragon Lee to prove why you guys don't like him, and I don't see it yet. Like I hear what you guys saying, mentored by a fraud Mysterio, so it's like it's notches down, but like I enjoyed the match. There's a couple things I noticed. I'm so Dragon Lee and AJ Styles are tag team champions, but AJ did not come out with his belt, and I was confused. I was like, "Where's his belt?" But then when the match ends, he has his belt magically. Like somebody brought his belt out. I was totally confused by that. AJ was actually off his game, not necessarily off his game, but like I noticed that, and then he had the phenomenal forearm. He didn't quite get on the rope properly. He slipped off. I'm glad he was able to catch himself and whatnot. He ended up finishing the match with the Styles Clash, but I feel like based on the ending of the match, I feel like that was a botch. So I'm like, damn, AJ. Yeah, he took a couple weeks off or something. He is getting old. We were just talking about that. But there was no Pele. And that's probably not AJ's fault. That probably has more to do with the fact that this match was too damn short. Because, man, as soon as I get into the match, it's over. I'm like, what's going on? I see Jeffrey said that the Swanton 450 should have been protected. I believe that it was. It was under his shirt. All right, fair enough. I'll defer to you guys. I'll defer to you on that. I believe that the Swanton 450 was protected because he hit it. It was a pin 1-2, and it required a drop kick to break it, if I'm not mistaken. So it was protected. Right. Yeah, so it was protected, and even still, I feel like that match was definitely a little too short for me because it was great. I was enjoying it, and I feel like this was another match that was cut short because we got to pay tribute to Cena because we've been paying tribute to Cena all night long. We got all the celebrities out here talking about thank you Cena. We got all these the other wrestlers thank you Cena, and that was the main theme of the show. It was a tribute to Cena. Cool, whatever.
You know what, Mark?
What?
So I'm hearing you talk, right? You're such a Goldberg. This is what Goldberg wanted. He wanted people to talk about
yes!
This. But the problem was there was no one to be found. No one, because one could say good things about him. He spared me and left. I had to do a 2-minute match and it was over. I could have showcased my talents. Like, who's going to say anything good about Goldberg? No one's going to say anything good about Goldberg. So watching this. all the talking, the first person I thought about was Goldberg, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And well, you know who was thinking about Goldberg? The crowd, because the crowd was saying this was awesome. So I think the crowd was also dumbfounded at the end of this match, like, the fuck happened? Were we in a dream? And it felt like, you fall asleep in the middle of the daytime, like you might be falling asleep with a train, you have a quick nap, and you wake up like, what the fuck happened? That was the match. It was a great dream. You woke up like, what the fuck was that? It's over?
Yeah. But yeah, it was just like I said, it was too short. I wanted more, just like how I wanted more from the Oba Femi and Cody Rhodes match. And it's weird because like I thought that this was supposed to be showcasing new talent. It was supposed to be showcasing NXT.
Me too. He did.
Oh man.
They had a
yeah, I thought that this was supposed to be showing, it was supposed to showcase NXT talent. And I feel like other than Sol Ruca, who got like a full match, and good for her, we didn't really get to showcase new talent that much. Because their matches just got chopped off at the knees to pay tribute to Cena. And I just don't understand. No. I understand why we did it, right? Because the Cena show, it's his last match. This is his last show. Obviously, never say never. Maybe he'll pop up randomly in 2-3 years, and then all you hear is do 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 do. But
oh no.
I don't think it would be. He's not gonna have. Never mind. I'll save that for the end. This match was too short. I wish there was more.
You know, it's something that I want to give a shout out to you guys because y'all point out something that I didn't even peep and whatnot. Like, so when we do like these review shows and stuff together, right? And I'll sometimes say like, there's a gear that there's a gear, and I feel like that's what you guys are saying. There was a gear that they didn't get into because stuff was cut short, and I didn't even think nothing of it. I just looked at this as a great. You know what I looked at tonight as? I looked at tonight as there's a great opportunity for these young men. These guys are, I want to say both of them are 21.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to expose all of us, but we haven't been 21 in years. But I say all
I'll
to say,
expose me. I'm 37, so it's been a while.
disgusting, old. I just smell Bengay in the air.
No, the
But
fuck you don't. I ain't that fucking old.
well, if you leave it to me, yes. But no, but no. All seriousness, because we're not far. We're all not. We're all in the same age bracket. I'm 37 as well. But I said that to sit here and say is that I just love that these young men are given an opportunity, like especially someone like Leon Slater. He's not with WWE. I was on the phone and I was chatting, and when I was chatting, I was saying like, "Yo, like not for nothing, he's with TNA." But he's already out of TNA because WWE is going to scoop him up. Talking about one Leon Slater, and it's happened because look, Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry, we'll talk about him, Leon Slater, and he's been featured a lot on NXT to the point where I'm like, yeah, they're scooping him up too. Jeffrey's confirming, yes, they are both 21. Okay, cool. They're both 21-year-olds, and this is such a big scene. So, like, I could they have got more time? Sure, I'm with you guys. Yeah, maybe they could have more time. But this is such a big deal for these individuals where this is the biggest crowd for both young men. And I love that for them. And I love that they were able to keep up. I'm glad that when Mark Wenzel pointed out how they not they, I'm sorry, AJ Styles, he had a slip, but they readjust. Like it happened, but I feel like even when it happened, if I blinked, I missed it. And AJ Styles is such a pro that he can make up for it. So I love this for the young men. I hope that Javon Evans could stay another year in NXT because he's 21. You don't even have to rush that. You know what I mean? Like he could stay down there for another year. Let him have a run with the NXT Championship because I still see him being the guy to take it off of Ober. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I thought this was fine. This was to me was the match of the night, easily. More time, I agree. But I thought that this was this was successful nonetheless. I do want to get into this thing. This wasn't even an official match, but I'm gonna give it to Rich Kings here first because he texted me and he texted me. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Rich Kings, Miz came out. He was dressed. It looked like he was ready to fight. Ron Cena came out. He comes out. They have a little back and forth. He says something about balls, and Ron Cena gives Miz some balls, and in the balls, Joe Henry's name was here. So when he says Joe Henry shows up. It wasn't really a match. It was just Joe Henry being on the card. I do like that the crowd was doing the wave too, because I sat here and said, I think about he's no longer with us here, but Brian Christopher, Grandmaster Sexy, and when he came out, he did the Grandmaster Sexy dance, and there was no reaction to it, and I always said, "Oh, that's so cringe. It's rough to watch." So when I see a wrestler do something and they don't get a reaction, I'm like, "Ooh, that's hard to watch." But when Joe Henry was doing the wave at the end, I'm not gonna say everybody was doing it, but it seemed like more people were doing it. But I'm gonna say I'm going to give you the floor here, One Rich Kings, because you texted me about this. But this segment, I'm gonna give you the floor. What did you think about this?
So this is on the heels of a match that I thought got cut too short, and you gave me this. Not only did you give me this shit, you interrupt Stephanie McMahon. And I'm like, he just appeared in the fucking wrestling. Same business name he appears, apparently. Because you say awesome and he appears, right? So she was like, awesome, and he's awesome. I'm like, I'm squinting at the screen, like, is that really The Miz? And when I saw R-Truth, let's go R-Truth, or R-Truth Cena, wherever he's going, I immediately was like, this is a waste of a segment. I just could not. I know you like Raw Truth. I know Mark, and you probably have a different opinion than I have. This was a waste of 5 to 10 minutes. That could be poured into a match. And I know maybe you don't want to give Miz his flowers, but why did he have to get a little extra than anybody fucking else? Everybody else came at the end of the fucking match. Everybody else gets a 10-second clip. Everybody else is saying, waving and saying, you can't see me. Throw the Miz back there with that. He's not one of his greatest villains. He had a match. He had a little feud or whatever, but like, if I think about The Miz, I'm not saying John Cena is his biggest opponent in my estimation. So he got a little more showtime or TV time than anybody else. Why? What did he do? And the segment was trash. And then you throw in Joe Henry, which I didn't understand. Where was the parallels? I'm like, where are we going? Just throwing somebody else for like I just thought it was a waste of 5 minutes that can be poured into a match. So the text I sent to the great was, the fuck was that? That's what I said. Martin, maybe you felt different. Did you enjoy this 5 minutes?
No, no,
Okay.
no. Because so this is what I did, right? Because I was like, yo, this match is cut short, right? So the match ended. Well, when I was watching it, maybe I was on the delay. The match ended at 9:15, and the main event entrances started at 9:32, with the start of the match starting at 9:41. So whatever. I'll let the entrances rock because Cena's there. But let's say we went from 9:15 to 9:32. That's 15 minutes. No, 17 minutes. Sorry. 17 minutes between the end of AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater.
I almost messed up my gimmick. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. I covered it because I kind of figured that you might not have caught it in time. It's cool, but 17 minutes, and part of it was interrupted. Like, I understand, once again, we're it's a tribute to John Cena, cool, understandable. But then when the Miz comes out, because Stephanie McMahon says something awesome and awesome, and I'm looking at my TV like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, we interrupt. It's one thing we're interrupting a match for John Cena tributes. We're interrupting a match for this. No, there's no justification for this. I'm not with it. Like, because my thing is, and granted, he did somehow pin the Miz and R-Truth counted 1, 2, 3 or whatever. But like, put him in a makeshift match. Do something. But that's just me, right? Like, either put him in a makeshift match, fit it in there somewhere, because I do think that a Joe Hendry versus Miz, I think that could have been cool for those that are interested in that shit.
Yeah, for SmackDown.
Right. But or don't do it at all. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, this is not. And like I said, it pissed me off because, like I said, there's at least 2 matches that was cut a little too short, and you fit this in there somewhere because why? I don't know.
Bad.
I don't think I have any what you call it. I look at it like this. It was cool that they have Joe Henry on there. Joe Henry's not like necessarily like a guy of mine or anything like that, but like, it was fine. Whatever. They did this, but I hear what you guys are saying. Like, I hear what you guys are saying. Like, hey, maybe we could have gave this match another 4 minutes, but we cut it because of this segment. Fair enough. Let's get into the main event. There was only 4 matches on this card. I'm not going to count that as a match, but the final match of the night, we had John Cena having his final match against the Ring General Gunther. If I can, I feel like even if I take the floor here, like I feel like I'm not going to say everything that I want to say here, right? John Cena, this is his final match here, right? We opened up and we talked about a little bit about John Cena. I want to kill some time here.
Do it. Kill some time.
We got our guy here, Rich King. He's taking a breather here. We'll give him a second here, and I'll ask him this question when he comes back as well. One, Mark wins. Do you have and Jeffrey, I'm gonna, because only one in the chat, and shout out to you. Thank you for always supporting. Do you have a favorite John Cena match? You're laughing.
Yes. So off the top of my head, I'm always going to refer to this. My favorite John Cena match is the first and third. But Mark, that's 2 matches. Yeah, I know. The first and third matches with him and AJ Styles. Those are my favorite John Cena matches. And like, I want to say, I feel like there are other matches where like he had to dig deeper into his wrestling bag, right? And I just don't know them off the top of my head.
That's fair.
But those 2 matches, I know for sure he had to dig deep into his bag. And like, it's interesting because like when I say that out loud, it's like, yeah, I don't remember. Like I said, I don't remember who the opponent was, what the venue was, what the pay-per-view or the show was. But he's definitely has a handful of matches where like he has to do more than his 5 moves of doom.
Yes.
Right. He has those matches. They're there. They exist. I don't know what they are, but off the top of my head, it's those AJ Styles matches. Which one is my favorite? I don't necessarily, like I said, I'm picking 1 and 3 because those are the matches that he lost.
No, 2.
But the second one was really good too.
1 and 2 were the ones that he lost.
He won. Wait, what?
So AJ, I'm sorry. When you said who would you talking about lost? Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about like, what was it? 2016, 2017. AJ wins the title. And he doesn't lose that title to John Cena, does he not?
So
yeah, help me out.
For those encounters, the first encounter AJ won. The second encounter he
won the belt.
The third one he lost.
So I'm just misremembering.
I'm sorry. Cool. I was trying to work with you because I wasn't sure how you did because I thought I missed.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
No,
then I guess it's 1 and 2. But like all 3 of those matches are really, really good.
It's funny because like I remember the first time they had the match and it was good. I remember it was like and it was something that you guys were saying. Like you were talking about time, but for me it's gear. I'm like, they didn't reach a gear. I always loved their second encounter, SummerSlam 2016. That was just, I'm sorry. Like, I love wrestling, even when sometimes it is hard to love wrestling. I love wrestling, and I will continue to love. I will continue to love wrestling as long as I can breathe, and as long as I'm allowed to be on this planet. Is a beautiful thing called professional wrestling. Even when it breaks my heart, and kicks me in the dick. And my dick is not made of steel. No one asked for that. I know.
At all.
And I don't care. But my point in saying all this is to simply say is that sometimes wrestling can be rough. But like that match, the second encounter, it was so magical. It was so great. And the third encounter was great too. I always pick 2 over the Royal Rumble encounter. But if you sat here and said the Royal Rumble encounter, I would be like, I understand. I get it. I totally get it. But I love the second encounter. But so for me, when it comes to John Cena matches, I'm with you. I got AJ Styles against John Cena SummerSlam 2016. But if I can include another match, I see Jeffrey said, "Whoa, Jack." I know.
Mm-hmm.
Super sorry. But if I conclude another match as a match to me, I think is so I feel like him and CM Punk had fantastic matches, and a lot of people will go, um, Money in the Bank, and it's an iconic match, totally. But my favorite encounter of John Cena and CM Punk was a random episode of Monday Night Raw, and that was the last match before they had the match this year, and um, it was a number one contender, and whoever won would face The Rock at WrestleMania, and obviously John Cena won, but still, this match was just so magical and so great, and I don't know if you ever have an opportunity, and if you're just interested, 2013 Raw CM Punk and John Cena. Rich Kings, I wanted to kill some time, but do you have one a favorite John Cena match by any means?
The one you talked about was actually one of my favorites. I'm going to deviate to something else. It's 2007, I believe, Royal Rumble with Umaga. Like I think he put on a. I don't know if you remember Umaga, Mark.
I remember Umaga, yes.
Oh, yeah. So Umaga versus John Cena, and because I think that was just a different John Cena, and Umaga was just a different type of a player, just a different beast. I just enjoyed that match particularly. If I were to think about John Cena matches, it would be that coming across my head after the CM Punk matches. Like both of them were pretty good. You guys mentioned the AJ Styles one also as well too. So I'm like, that's also a Royal Rumble match with that as well. But I'll have to give it to Umaga.
I'm sorry, we went to.
What's going on, Shay?
What's up?
Yes, that was the one on Monday Night Raw where he power drivered him and stuff. So yes, you manga, because like William Regal, you know how you say manga, he was like manga. Yes, it was
You manga? That's crazy.
Yeah, look it up. There's actually a video of it on here. But let's talk about this match: John Cena against Gunther. Forgive me, guys. I just want to take the floor here first, and I'll give you guys the floor because I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts. See, like, this match is what it needed to be. It really was. Like, I remember watching this, and I said to myself, I said, "Man, if this was 2010 John Cena, Gunther would have been cooked." But like, I look. I think they told a really good story. This was John Cena's last match. You have Gunther coming out there, and I'm sorry, I don't have collective thoughts. I don't have notes or anything like this. So bear with me here, folks. I just thought this was the right move to do. Gunther. Here's my thing, and I told the boys here before we started the show. I said, hey, Gunther's going to be here on Monday. And was a great way for him to start off 2026 with him as he retired a legend in John Cena and Frederick Douglass, Bill Goldberg. And this is fantastic. He has all the momentum in the world right about now. And I don't know what 2026 looked like for one Gunther, but if he had lost, I don't know, man. I don't think that would have been the right move. But I love this. Matter of fact, if I could say here and say this, you know what? Moving forward, Gunther should just retire everybody. Like, I'm not even talking about wrestling. I'm just talking outside of wrestling. Like, if he hears someone retire, like, it makes you flipping fries at McDonald's, right? And he says, like, the guy says, like, man, I've been here for 15 years. I'm ready to retire. And you hear Gunther's theme. Like, moving forward, Gunther should retire everybody. I don't care what it is. I don't care what your profession is. Gunther should have retire you. I'm just talking Gunther. Oh, man, I'm 70 years old. No, I want to finish this. I'm 70 years old. I'm ready to retire. Da, 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 da. Gunther should retire. Oh man, Gunther, he's 90 years old. He should retire. And Gunther just faces himself. I don't care what it is. Gunther should retire everybody moving forward. Gunther is the Grim Reaper. Go ahead, Mark Wentz. I'm sorry.
I have something really relevant. So actually two things, right? Because basketball player Chris Paul, he's retiring this year. I don't know. So he got cut recently. I'm assuming that he might get signed to another team to finish his farewell tour. Ba, 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 ba,
Da,
ba,
ba,
ba.
ba, ba, ba. Yes,
We
absolutely.
have,
No,
and of course, we have one LeBron James. He's getting up there in age. At some point, he has to retire. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Yes, so I'm on
Gunther should
board
just
with that.
retire everyone. No, Gunther should just. I don't care what your profession is. Like, oh
At
man, I can't golf anymore, and he just power bombs you.
Ba, do, 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 do,
No,
do.
hold on, wait, hold on. So this is disgusting. Juventud Guerrero, who is the greatest cruiserweight champion of all time. No, you messed up, Jeffrey. No, because he think he's funny. That was honestly, if I'm being honest, I'm gonna be honest with you, that is honestly the most unfunniest thing in 2026, easily. Honestly, top 5 unfunniest thing in 2026. That was rude, one Jeffrey Reimer. How dare you? But you know, and I was talking with Shay, so she said the smile with the tap, and I'm gonna give you the floor here, Rich King. So I don't want to take up your time here, sir. I really didn't like the smile, but like there was something that was shared with me. Shout out to one Shay Soy, too sweet. He was at peace when he did the tap, because when he smiled, I was like, oh, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? Like, because like if you're tapping, let me ask you guys this: you're in a painful submission. Are you smiling at that? No. So I think, I don't know, my mindset, right? So when I saw all that, I was like, but this is a man who made peace, but this was the right decision. Once again, Gunther's going to be here. And I love this for him. He should be the Grim Reaper. AJ Styles, he said next year he's retiring. Bah, 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 bah. But Rich Kings, I'm sorry, Rich Kings, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm taking, I love this. You like that? We might make that a shirt. Frederick Douglass. Yes. Frederick Douglass. Did we? Rich Kings, how do you feel about that nickname, Frederick Douglass? Are we feeling that?
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
I always try to please you, but Rich Kings, take the floor.
Nah.
How do you feel about this match?
So I just want to start from the beginning. When the lights go out, hey, you hear that, and the crowd immediately boos. I'm like, this is what Gunther was made for. Like, let me just shut you guys up and just come down here. It's almost like I know symphony music, but it's also like,
yes.
you're gonna die music. I'm going to annihilate you music. It's like funeral music. Like, I am coming to do the job and I'm leaving. And like Gunther, he won the tournament. There was a tournament for this, right? Imagine winning something, right, and going somewhere to fight or collect, like, whatever it is, and then the crowd was like, "Fuck you, fuck you." just like, what did he do to deserve that? I mean, he's just wrestling. And John Cena announced that he was retiring. This wasn't a stipulation match, a pink slip on the pole match, nothing stupid. It was a retirement match. This is my last thing. And they're like, fuck you, Gunther. Like, what did you want this man to do? Like, the crowd, help them. Just help those people in the DMV. Just help them, because they're confused. You know who they should be saying fuck you to, but they're not. But that's another story for another day. But this crowd is just unbelievable. So Gunther, he's just eating it up. He's looking at them like, who, me? Could it be? Like who stole the cookie for the candy jar? The cookie? Like, okay. Well, since you say fuck me, let me show you how it's done. And John Cena gets his little 5 moves in. He's like, all right, enough. And that was like the beginning end for John Cena. I appreciated Gunther being the one to do it. Like, we talked offline, like, he should be the retirement. He's the retirement home. All right, come pay your bills, and I'm about to take you out. I'm taking you out. Absolutely. The retirement home of Gunther. And then he should have this clip where you have the nameplate. You have Goldberg, John Cena, AJ Styles. Who's next? Like, that should be his slogan. Next. Gunther's just go on. I'm sorry.
No. Finish your thoughts. I'm so sorry.
The Gunther's just made for this. I think that there really should have been a different person to do it than him right now. Speaking of it, because he took care of business, and you know what he did? He left the ring. Like, fuck this. Like, I won, thank you, and I'm out. Like, there was no, let me give you a hug, let me say thank you. No, I won. I'm out of here. Thank you. Collecting my check.
If I can be serious for a moment, and I'm not even trying to be funny, to quote the great Lance Storm, um, I love that they trust Gunther in this position because I think Gunther is great. I really sincerely do. I think Gunther is fantastic. Um, and even with the mic, I'm not going to say here and say top 5 promo guys, but when he's on the mic, every now and then he says some funny shit. Like
Yeah.
Gunther's really that dude, and I sincerely love that he was that guy, and I think he should continue to be the guy. Like I feel like if he has retirement, Gunther just turns his neck. Like I love this for Gunther, and I think and moving into 2026. I hope that they continue this momentum with him because I feel like there's a lot of momentum. Look, as much as I like Gunther, I feel like his heavyweight championship runs were not good. Not as good as
Mhm.
his Intercontinental Championship run. If you look at that Intercontinental Championship run, it was legendary. It was great. And I just really want he ain't retiring Brock. I you know what? He should.
Ba,
He
ba,
should.
ba, 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 ba,
Yes.
ba, 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 ba.
Listen, I think if you say retirement, Gunther should be at your doorstep.
That's
Listen,
like I
nothing.
said. He's a great house. This is my music. Come see me. We'll discuss
If
your
I
plans.
I just want to throw out here. You guys have met. I mean, obviously, you guys have met my mother because we've been friends for many years, like 20 years. But I am so grateful my mother has retired before this madman has arrived because there's no way I could protect my mother. Like I would everything in the power in my world to protect my mom. But like if I saw a Gunther, I would said, "Mom, I hope you can run." And she's much faster than me. So, like, yes, I am glad that she has retired before this madman has appeared because clearly he don't care. As soon as Gunther, the way Gunther is retiring people, it's like Thanos collecting. How many Infinity not stones is 6, right?
Mhm.
This motherfucker got 24. He's the most powerful being I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, at this point, I just want him to show up there. Like, I wish we could go back in time. Sting, I'm announcing my retirement. Mark,
Ba, 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 ba.
Mr.
I mean, we
Cat, are
forgot
you?
about Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho needs to be on that tour.
You right? Let me ask you guys this. We won't really spend as much time because I don't want this podcast to be much long. And I see Jeffrey. He says you would protect Mr. Cat before your mom. I love my mom. My mom is my queen. I would protect her. But my son, he is my son, who is licking himself inappropriately. Stop looking at. But I would sit here and say this. Let me ask you guys this: to the best of your ability, how would you rate John Cena's retirement tour? And I'm gonna give you some time. Mark wins, but Rich
He knows
King.
time. He knows that he want to rate it already. I can see it in his face. I can see it. I read it in his mind. Listen, I'm gonna go first to give it sweet. This was out of 10 or out of 5
Sure, we could. We'll do 10.
or grades, like A, B, C, or D.
Whatever you want. However you want to grade
Take
it.
the floor. And Jeffrey too.
Let's
I'm sorry. I just want to. I didn't mean to interrupt you. My apologies.
yeah.
And Jeffrey too. Please tell us what you think about what his like grade, rate, number out of 5, whatever. What did you feel about his retirement tour? But Rich King, please.
If I was grading this as a paper, I'm gonna give it like a C. Like the thing is, there were some highs and the lows. Well, lows is low. The lows low, and the high was him winning at WrestleMania. But there was nothing else after that that really deserves to like to make me like this is good. And it wasn't that good. This is what I did not like. A year announcement. Hey, next year I'm having this thing. Then we have this whole year, and it's like it's still inconsistent. Even leading up to WrestleMania was still inconsistent with him being there consistently, right? And then he wins and he turns heel, and it was so lackluster. It was not it, and he just goes on a losing streak. I would take out him winning the Intercontinental Championship. It was a year of losing after WrestleMania. He lost to Cody. He lost to Brock. He lost to Dominic. He lost just now to Gunther. What did he beat? AJ, CM Punk, and
He beat Randy. He beat Randy. He beat Punk.
mhm.
He beat AJ. He lost in that tag team match. Lost to Cody. Lost to Brock. He beat AJ. He beat Logan Paul too.
Yeah, and Logan Paul. So it's like when I think about him, and because this when we see him, well, he was nicknamed the Golden Shovel, so all he does is win. And then to come back and all you do is lose. Not all you do is win 50-50 loss and wins. It doesn't hit the same. And I just think that not the match quality wasn't the greatest or just the storytelling. I just think that that whole story with him turning heel was the beginning of the end because that had so many people like excited, and it was one of the biggest letdowns I had in wrestling. Period. I think probably top 5 one of my letdowns in wrestling history. Period. It was just not good. And like I said, he did a lot of losing after WrestleMania for me.
Mark, take the floor.
I mean, do I talk about? Fuck! Do I talk about the match first, or do I talk about this retirement tour first? Because I have thoughts.
You know what? You know what? Floor is yours, sir.
All right. So, this match, personally for me, my match. This match, absolutely cool. Like it was so cool. We got the entrances, and we got coming out, and they got the. I forget what the name of what the team is, like the actual name of the movement or whatever. But his team is playing, and then the lights go out, and we got Cena. Whatchamacallit. Cena takes the camera, and whoever was on production was a hater, right? Because Cena gets the camera, and he's got it in first person view, and then when he's trying to highlight the person who's supposed to hold the camera, we're looking at everything else. Whoever's on production, biggest fucking hater in the world. His theme is playing. Nobody knows the lyrics, so heel Cena was right. These fans, they're fickle. They're full of shit. Whatever. The censorship in this match was absolutely hilarious because everybody's like, "Fuck you, Gunther," and they have this delayed censorship because it's live. We don't know that they're going to say this shit. The back and forth in this match, slow pace, but it's Cena, understandable, and it's just so good because I'm sitting there, I'm going back so in my mind, Gunther's supposed to win this, and every so often we have Cena with an AA, boom, and I'm like, "No, you're not." And then he hits the STF and the STFU. No, you're not going to let Cena. I'm looking at the TV like what are you doing? There was this point where Gunther was hitting Cena with clotheslines. Ask him, check on him, tell me if he gives up. I love that. I need that Gunther all the time. Every time he hits you with something, you check on him. Be sure he's okay because I hurt him. I love that. That needs to be Gunther going forward. I don't care what he does on the mic, outside the ring, in the ring. Every time I hit you and you're laid out, hey, ref, check on next guy. He's hurt. See if he needs to whatchamacallit. And it was great. And it was crazy because it was another clothesline and another clothesline and another clothesline. Oh my goodness. I love this match. It was so dramatic. And then, everybody's like, Super Cena, because, he's just getting choked out and he's like trying to fight it. Super Cena. Yes, just like Jericho. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. Just like Jericho. He's choking him out. Super Cena. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, hey. And I'm like, don't you fucking dare book it like this. And then he's choking him out again. Boom, we got the sleeper hold. And then at the end, Cena with that little smile. And he's just like, and I really did enjoy that ending. I really did because it was just like, I'm trying to get out of this, and I just fucking can't. That's really what it boiled down to. Like I'm here in my mind. I got it. I know. Like the great Grand Slam Pooper said. If this was 2010, he'd have been cooked. But it's not 2010. It's 2025, and this is the best I can do. I can't get out of this. I've tried. I really, really tried. and he just couldn't do it. So he just, with a smile on his face, he tapped. And I really like that ending because it was just like you said, Shea Sawyer said he was at peace with it. He was just like, he got it, bro. Ain't nothing to talk about. Fuck that crowd though. The crowd was mad disrespectful. They were great, but disrespectful. I don't like how they treated Walter. It was out of control. They're at some point they were talking about bullshit. Like, what do you mean bullshit? He tapped. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't understand. What are we? Why are you? What are you mad at? And then Triple H comes out and he gets booed, and I start laughing because I was like, "Yo, do we really not like Triple H this much? Like, is he that
they don't.
bad?"
They don't. His booking has been questionable, and there's a lot of things because, like, you, I think criticism is fair, right? So there's things that Triple H could do better, but I also sit here and say he. So the problem with Triple H is, like, someone will hand him the writing, and he'll be like, "Yeah, this is good," and that's a problem. So, like, he gets a lot of that blame, but I blame the writers as well. I blame someone like, with all the respect in the world, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but Road Dogg, and the way he writes things and stuff like that. Because, like, there's things where you just go like, yeah, this is not good. So I hated that Triple H got booed, and I'm hoping in 2026 that he can. And I was telling one Shea Sawyer this about this. I hope in 2026 he can change that narrative, because I believe that you can totally do that. You can have a bad year, but you can fix things up in the following year. Because, like, I when I look at 2026, I'm like, yo, there's a lot of call ups that you can have here, from Femi to Sol Ruca to everyone. I know everyone's gonna laugh when I say this, but one JC Jane. There's so much talent there, and there's things with these fresh faces, but that can change and be a game changer for the main roster. So, like, I'm hoping 2026 can be a different change of things. So yeah. But I'm sorry, hold on.
One Crazy Joe. What's going on, Crazy Joe?
What's going on, brother? We're glad that you're here. Thank you. But I wanted to have him say Jericho used to. I'm sorry.
Yes, ask him. But the
Shout
difference,
to one.
the difference is, like I said, he was hitting them with clotheslines. Like, yo, ask him, is he okay? That was hilarious to me. I need that Gunther all the time, every time. Period.
We got Sawyer. She says he smiled and said, "You know what, kid? What's more?
You want it more than me, and I'm gonna let you have this one because your time is now." Yep.
I want to throw out here. I created reading, and I didn't appreciate any of that, Mark. How dare you interrupt me when I'm trying to pronounce words? How dare you? Jeffrey said Triple H was smiling when they were booing. Yeah, he did. I felt like Triple H said, "Yeah, we fucking got him." That's what I felt like he said.
But
want, and we got this right here. I think TKO is going to remove him next year. I read somewhere that they're not happy with him. I don't know what it is. I don't root for any of that kind of stuff personally for myself. I hope that he can change things and fix things around, because I mean, I've heard rumors and I've heard things, but I once again, I hope things can change, because, like, my whole thing with WWE, it's not that they don't have the talent. They have the talent. Here's the problem. Creative is a big time problem, and when creative is in such a drought and such a terrible thing, I'm sorry, like, that's gonna ruin your product. So I'm hoping in 2020, because I feel like right now we're like, how many weeks are we into the new year? Like 2 weeks, right? Like 2 weeks, maybe
2 weeks away, 2-3 weeks away. Yeah.
2 3 weeks. I feel like they're gonna be cruising. So I'm hoping that they realize their flaws and they can change everything up, because I really do. Go ahead.
Speaking of ruining things, you asked me, what do I think of John Cena's retirement tour? And I have mixed feelings about it, because on one hand, if the goal was to
audacity, I'm sorry.
No, not the goal. The goal. It's cool. If the goal was, for Cena to have this great tribute at the end, because if we're being honest, Saturday Night Main Event, it was it was a grand tribute to John Cena, right? And it was pretty cool. It was really cool, objectively. Like I said, I have biased, disrespectful thoughts about it, and I'm going to keep them to myself because they're very disrespectful, and I don't think it's appropriate. But it was a cool tribute. I do think that. That said, I just think that it would have had a whole different vibe if Cena was healed the whole time. If his whole thing, like, I get it, right? He's heel. Nobody likes it. And he keeps saying, I'm here to ruin wrestling. So he's here to ruin wrestling. Nobody likes it. If you're creative, you lean into that. So we're on the internet. Nobody likes this. Cool. Let's keep fucking it up. How bad can we make it? Like, you have to, at this point, you have to just lean into it, right? That's what I think. And because here's what happens. He was winning everything until he went face. When he had that face turn, when he was like, oh, I got hit in the head, and all of a sudden I remember who I am. No, you didn't, because you lost damn near every match after that. Like, and that's I don't that's not what I would that's not how I would have booked it. Like I said, I would have leaned into the ruining wrestling where I would have really like leaned into it to the point where it's like, yo, you are really going to question whether or not he's going to leave with the title or not. Now, whether he leaves with the title, maybe he shouldn't leave with the title, right? I think he should, but that's just my super extra wild booking. But I'm going to really make you think. Like, I want you to question, yo, are they really going to let him do this? Because at the end of the day, when we look back at this, it's just going to be, oh, cool, it was a cool tribute. And what are we rating it? We're rating it a C. We're rating it a 5, 6 out of 10. But this could have been talked about for years on how bad it was. Like, it could have been a meme. It could have been a meme. We made Super Cena and heel to the very end. Like, it could have been a meme. They just need to lean into it. Where we're ruining wrestling. We're like giving fake dates. Like, we're like, well, maybe not fake dates, because that's actually just that's a little too much. But like, they could have leaned into it. We're like, oh, I'm not wrestling today. I told you I was going to wrestle. Da, 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 da. I don't know. They could have did something where it's like, yo, at this, like today, we would have had a whole different ball game if we're coming in here. It's Cena's last match, but we don't know if he's really going to leave with the title or not. It would have been a whole different ball. And then if he would have been like, oh, I'm going to force you to make these tributes. Oh, that would have been, oh man. Imagine now we got to force everybody to make these tributes. It's like, oh yeah, I'm the champion. This is the last time is now. And you got to make these tributes because this is my last. This is it. You're not going to see me after this. You have to tribute me because I'm the greatest of all time. And couldn't nobody beat me all year.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to interrupt you. Please finish your thoughts.
Yeah, that was towards the end of it, where it's like, yo, you have to you better recognize who I am. I am the GOAT, and I'm gonna leave with this. And that and now the whole match, the whole night, that's the thing in the air, right? Where we're seeing the tributes. Thank you, Cena. This, that, and the third. Thank you, Cena. Cena sucks. We got the crowd. Somebody comes in. Let's say it's Cody Rhodes. Let's say it's Drew McIntyre. Whoever. Obviously, it would probably be Cody Rhodes, right? And I think that would elevate Cody to a whole different type of whatchamacallit. Like, he goes into a whole different stratosphere where he is the one to save wrestling from one John Cena who's trying to ruin it. Oh, that's what I would do. If I'm not letting Cena go home with the belt, because we're not allowed to do that, I'm drawing this out to the very fucking end. I'm going to really make this WWE universe think, yo, it's time. He might go home with this shit.
I'm sorry. There's a few things I just want to get off my chest. Rich King's, the way he was looking, he was horrible. The way that bro was so, like, when you was going, I saw how Rich King was looking, and he looked so mortified. Bro was like, what? Hold on. I'm sorry. I do have a I'm sorry. Hold on. Hold on. I feel like I have a thing. I can tell you right now, when Mark's booking, this is me.
I'm so miserable.
That's the point, though. Like,
Fuck
whole
you.
point is he's ruining wrestling, and I feel like you should. I feel like they should have leaned into that instead of just, oh, okay, I guess we don't like the heel run, so we're just gonna change it. Like, we lean into it, but
I do want to sit here and say real quick.
You
I
gotta
may
do the
interrupt
Usos
you,
thing.
but like, I did tell you off air, like, yeah, it was yesterday when before we did the recording for 2008 Armageddon, and like I was like, oh, I saw like kind of what you was meaning about like ruining wrestling and blah blah blah. Like to me, it just seemed like it was a shoot because it was really bad. But I do think wrestling should be so. My mindset is this: you can have a heel gimmick, and this is just for me personally for me. You can have a heel gimmick, but it should still be entertaining. And this was not entertaining, and it wasn't working. But I do want to highlight this real quick, because I saw this as well. He was Jeffrey. He pointed out that um, John Cena. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I got this. Was it actually 200 dates? But I know John Cena wanted to do more than 36 dates, and WWE told him like, no, we want you for 36. And Jeffrey said, I don't think John Cena could. I think WWE definitely saved him for 200 days. I totally agree with that. But I do think that
I
there should
mean,
have
I
been.
guess it depends on what he wanted to do. Like, he might have had an idea on what he wanted to do for those 200 dates, and maybe the 200 dates is not so much showing up in wrestling all the time or being in the ring all the time, but maybe he just wanted to do 200 dates to like see everybody. Like, this is his retirement tour, so maybe he just wanted to do 200 dates to see everybody, because that's a thing that could have happened too, where like, this is my retirement tour, I want to see
Sure.
everybody at each and every last one of these cities. Like, now granted, if you do that, then maybe you really do need to change the whatchamacallit, where maybe he's not a heel, or if he is a heel, you have to go a different angle with it. But if this is what we're doing, I think you lean all the way in. Like, we don't half-ass it. No half step in here.
If I can add into this, and this is my personal opinion, if you have 200 days and they gave him that, I think that would have been beneficial for him for his heel run, because then you have more time to, you know, you have a little bit more wiggle room with that, personally. So, I hear what you're saying. I think that's a fair point. Like, not everything has to be that he's in the ring, but I also sit here and say that, um, if he's in the ring, I mean, not even necessarily in the ring, but you have 200 days, he's able to work. I feel like it was a crime that he didn't get to work with Camelo Hayes. I personally feel that. And there's probably some other names that can be included, but I use Camelo Hayes totally. And I'm like, it's not even a thing that had to be a PLE match. That could have been a match on a random episode of SmackDown. Give him some time, something like that. He's in the ring with the greatest of all time. I don't know. There's so many things that in this tour that could have been better. The heel turn, the moment was great. I'll never take away that moment. The follow up, not so much. But I'm gonna give you the floor, Rich King, because you've been respectfully giving us the floor here. But what are your thoughts about the possibility of? I mean, not even possibility, but the thoughts of him having doing more than 36 days, and whatever thoughts that you have, by the way.
No, I think if he did more than 36 days, I think that's when the heel promo would have worked a little bit more to what the things that Mark was saying, right? So you could fuck with the fans more, you could fuck with the crowd, you could fuck with some of the talent. Like, I do think that, I don't know why they think it would be a good idea. Because clearly they were talking about marketing all freaking night with this damn John Cena doll and the merch and shit like that. So if you really wanted to push merch so badly, you could have opened up, let's say, 15, 20 more days if you really wanted to sell that merch so badly. So I do think that there was a opportunity for them. I mean, what do they have on TV this year that was that much better than saying that Johnson's going to be there? A U.S. Open title? Yeah, no, I'd rather see John Cena there. So I think that they kind of dropped the ball a little bit on there. I think that I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest with you. I just don't. He could have appeared at NXT some more. Like he could have done so many different things that they just like like not saying he has to wrestle the talent, but what could have done for the viewership or just to have those young talent just to see John Cena's in the room cutting a promo of him and stuff like that. There's so many different avenues they could have had, and for whatever reason, that I don't understand, they just chose not to do that. So terrible.
And if I can just even throw out here, I mean, maybe this is just like pie in the sky completely, but think about like they had a partnership with TNA. I can understand completely how everyone would just like roll their eyes at that, but they have a partnership with TNA, and you hear, and I feel like there was so much fun that could have been had there. And once again, I understand, but I
They
feel
could
like
have had the
John
John
Cena.
Cena and AJ Styles match there. That would have been crazy.
That's interesting. That's actually interesting. I would have never thought that, but that's actually a great idea. I'm just saying, like, there was so much on the table that could have been done. I think that's a fair statement, if you will. And they didn't do that. The heel turn, there was things that could have been done. Like Mark Wins, I love you, dog. You're always gonna be my dog. You know that. But I sit here and say, the goal was always going to be he was going to turn face at SummerSlam. But in that time period,
right, the same
go
way
ahead.
that you. I'm sorry, right, the same way that
No.
we're not gonna let Obi pin Cody or Cody pin Oba. Like, I get it, the milk toast thing. I understand. That's the WWE way.
But I simply just say, like, there was so much there's so much fun, I say fun, but so much that was left on the table that they didn't do. But I do want to sit here and say one last time, Rich Kings, I want you to unmute your mic, please. Would you unmute your mic? One last time, I want you guys to do it with me here. John Cena sucks! John Cena sucks! John Cena sucks! John Cena sucks! But
I got to do a little shimmy with it too.
We gotta do it one more time. Then you gotta add a shimmy. So Mark,
la la la. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks.
John Cena sucks. No, but all seriousness, John Cena was never my GOAT. But I want you guys to join me when I do this, when I do a salute here. But one, John Cena, enjoy your retirement, sir. You earned it. You beat a lot of my faves. But nonetheless,
the prank calls was hilarious. There's a video.
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, when you were saying that, I mean, it was like, oh, let's go. But Jeffrey was pointing that out. Yeah, no, that is a funny one. I don't know how I came up with that. I'm sorry, Mark. What is this emoji? I can't see it.
That's the salute.
I think John Cena deserved that. I mean, there's no way that you can sum up his career in 5, 10, 15 minutes. But like John Cena, and he had some really, really great matches. I don't know, but like, yeah, I do want to talk about it real quick before we end this podcast. But like, yeah, no, those were hilarious. I came around it like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. And I was like, oh, this is hilarious. Because the woman is really like, I'm so sorry. She was like, there was a part and there was like something about some kind of charity. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. We root for that. And we're like, yeah, but you gotta see John Cena That woman lost her mind. You got to see. Have you ever saw that one, Rich Kings? Or heard it?
Oh
no?
God,
Mark, we have to salute that. But salute to one, John Cena, 20 plus years in the game. I do a review on UPRE about Peacemaker. He does a really great job about it. And once again, salute to you, sir. I hope you enjoy your retirement. You deserve it. You have earned it. If I can mention a John Cena moment as before we end this. We were talking about John Cena, his feud with AJ Styles. It was 2016, right? I'm gonna put my hair back a little bit because I have a lot of hair. But there was a match. I forget it was before. If it was Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. I think it was Money in the Bank. But John Cena told AJ Styles, said, "Oh, if you struggled with Roman Reigns, you have no idea what you're dealing with." And I said, "My boy, you're cooked," because I thought AJ was cooked. So when AJ beat AJ Styles, when AJ Styles beat John Cena, I said, "All right." And then he lost a tag team. It was like a 6-man tag. I said, "Whatever." But at SummerSlam, and we were all together, me, Mark Wins, and Rich Kings. I'm giving you a little bit of our lore, Lore, so you know. And we were all there, and you guys were there when we were at the bar. And when it looked like John Cena was going to hit the A, did you guys hear a bunch of grown men go, "Oh"? It was a groan. Until AJ Styles reversed it and hit the Styles Clash, and we were like, "Yeah!" I remember that because I was hyped. I'm not even glad. I had a little bit of, I had 6-pack sweat. Matter of fact, I don't have a 6-pack. I'm sorry. That's beneath me. I had a 12-pack. And I had a 12-pack sweat. So that is that. But with all that said, let's end this all up. We got Joseph Ron Cena, our truth better. He shout out to this guy. Thank you for being here. Still hilarious. It is a hilarious thing. Beat up John Cena was in full effect. Totally. It was fantastic. So with all that said, let's wrap it all up here. This was the Big Pop Theory podcast. We reviewed Saturday Night Main Event. I want to thank you, gentlemen, here for joining me and talking about this. I felt like this was a night that we had to review. We had to talk about John Cena. And once again, salute to him. I did the salute, but can we do this? I mean, I feel like we did a salute, but can we do one last time? Like, boom. We see you, sir.
The Tony Yayo.
that he did say he learned that from somewhere, right? But Mark,
he got it from Tony Yayo. I want to say it was the So Seductive video where Tony Yayo was doing this, and John Cena was like, I think somebody dared him to do it in a ring, but because if he does this, maybe nobody knows, or they might. The other thing is they might have thought that he was they might have thought that he was still Booker T. So he went like this instead to make sure, like, yeah, I'm doing it. And it was that's when it was born. Yes, Joe with the confirmation. It was So Seductive video. Yes.
You know what? I'm glad that you guys, because I would have never known. But Mark Wins, you are doing some stuff about content creating, and I love that for you, sir. So please.
Yes, you can find me on YouTube at Legend Number M. Right now I got one episode. That's funny. I should turn it into an episodic series, shouldn't I? I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking.
You
stuff.
should.
But I got one video of me playing Vendetta from Overwatch. That's probably gonna be my DPS main in Overwatch. And I definitely have another one in the pipeline coming out probably tomorrow. Nothing crazy, just some more gameplay. And I will definitely be dropping some Overwatch gameplay. I gotta finish up my single segment Donkey Kong Country shorts. My casual attempt to speed runs. But yeah, I definitely got content. So if you like video games, come check me out.
I love that for you, sir. And I think that's great. And there's a link in the comments. So please hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification, because this guy's going to be doing some amazing things. I know that for a fact. I've known this guy for many, many years, and he is tremendous. And he's also my lawyer. So, like, I will sue for the leastest thing. I told, if I can just throw out here real quick, I once said, Mark, I want to sue, but I have no reason. He said, don't worry. I said, good.
We'll figure it out.
Rich Kings, the smartest guy in the room, and probably the most handsomest guy, if I'm not even lying here. Rich Kings, sir. Pretty boy, where can people find you, sir?
Cut it out. Right here on the
No.
Big Pop Theory podcast until further notice. Like, might be coming up with some new stuff too, so we'll see. But you will always find me here, though.
I would love that because you know what? This guy, we talk wrestling, we debate and stuff like that. And honestly, I can't tell you what losing feels like. I have never lost. I don't know what defeat. There's people who have eggs in defeat, not me. I don't know what that sense feels like. And I'm sorry, Rich Kings, that you can't keep up with me. And I sit here and say, step it up, because please, I have beaten you many times in wrestling conversation. Do you agree, Rich Kings?
No. No.
That's that. That's.
I just want to make sure you heard me twice.
Well, you know what? My hearing is, so what is a 2020 hearing? But mine's is 30/40. So like I already heard you. But like one day we're gonna have the great wrestling debate, and I look forward to dominating. That's what I do. I wake up dominate, right, son? Mr. Cat walked out. That's rude. Anyway, so the Big Pop Theory podcast, please, if you enjoy this content, please hit that like and he don't agree, but like I don't know where this is coming from, like, but I do want to throw out here real quick. I wish I had a video up here, but I don't have one. But we did a review for. Please check it out. I thought. I'm sorry.
You talking about Armageddon or Final Resolution?
That too, but like, we did a Armageddon retrospect review. It was a really good time. We reviewed it. We did record it yesterday and we uploaded it. So please take a look or watch on it. Tell us what you think, and if there's anything that you are interested in, please let us know and we will review it. The only thing is now that everything seemed like it's moving from Peacock. We don't know how things are going to work. We're going to see how things work out. But please give it a check, give it a like, subscribe, but tell us what you have an interest in on what else we're reviewing. It could be WWE, WCW, ECW, even some throwback NXT. We're down for all of that. And even some throwback TNA. We did a review on Final Resolution 2008 for December, because it was
The second one, yes.
I think it's important to throw it out there. For the Big Pop Theory podcast, hit that like, subscribe, notification. Follow us on Instagram. If you have any questions, hit us up on Gmail, because we will respond to that. He said, Jeffrey said, I tuned in for a bit. We appreciate that, Jeffrey. I want to give a shout out to Jeffrey. Well, two people, honestly, because Jeffrey, he supports us. He's been with us, and I totally appreciate you, sir. So we acknowledge you. I'm going to throw up my ones for you, sir. So totally thank you for that. And shout out to one Crazy Joe, because he supports us as well. He shares us on Instagram and everything like that. So we totally appreciate that. And with that all said, this is the show. I just want to hit the graphic real quick. I'm sorry, I thought I had everything lined up. But with that said, that is the show. Saturday night main event, after show review. Thank you, John Cena. Enjoy your retirement, sir. And there's no other follow-ups to that, but do.